Man, these guys talking big topics. Guys like this, allergic to small talk. What's the weather? Achoo! You see the game? Achoo! Miss me, bitch. It's big topic.
I think
What's
the
up,
best
dude?
part of my the best part of my research, the work I've done today around my research, is what you're looking at here. So don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is good. What you're giving me right now is great. My co-host right now is wearing some sort of a virtual disguise of sorts. He looks
that's
like
not virtual. I'm actually wearing this.
it's very nice. It looks almost very sharp lines. Very impressed on how it's just kind of, it's a mask and a fedora hat. The mask is just tickling the tip of your nose. You look like the Hamburglar or like an antivirus logo.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going for. The Hamburglar.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
No, I got hacker vibes when I was I don't know if we want to jump. I always like pretend like it's some big secret what the topic's going to be, even though people click on the thing and it says it right in the title. But the subject matter for today, yeah, I felt like a hacker, dude. I was like interacting with this thing and it was giving me like inside scoops on everything. And I don't know, man, I felt dangerous with this thing.
It's yeah, you want to just get into it? Fuck it.
Yeah, why not, man?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Big Topic, everybody. New episodes every Tuesday on YouTube. You might hear us say Twitch here and there, but it's only going to be on YouTube.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Inside joke.
It's a goof about Twitch. We're just going to be on YouTube and then all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all that. Thank you to those of you who have checked it out so far.
Yes.
And yeah, really pumped. So don't forget to like and subscribe, suggest topics we should talk about, all that good stuff. So we got a fucking big one today, dude.
It's a doozy.
I've been fascinated by this for all of like a month and a half.
Wow. All right. So you've gone deeper. My problem was I was scratching at the surface and it, like literally leading up to recording, I was like finding new shit. And I imagine it's like that, like an iceberg. You see the surface and then you kind of look underneath the surface of the water and there's just like endless possibilities with this thing. So I just started to unlock the endless possibilities, I feel like, towards the tail end of my research before we hopped on here. So I'm excited to see what you've uncovered. I'm excited to share some of the stuff that I got into and what I saw. But yeah, kick it off, man.
Let's do it. All right. So Chat GPT is a large language model developed by OpenAI. It is based on the GPT, or Generative Pre-trained Transformer
I was like, thank God I don't have to say
that. Which uses unsupervised learning to pre-train a deep neural network on a large corpus of text data before fine-tuning it for specific tasks. But enough of the nerd shit. GPT is basically a computer program that can understand and talk like a human. It can answer questions and have conversations with people, and it's kind of like having a smart robot friend that can help you learn and do things. It speaks every language, including programming and coding languages. It was trained on massive sets of data, and GPT can have a much more in-depth conversation and interaction with you than Siri or Alexa. The development of GPT began in 2018 with the release of the original model in June of that year. Since then, several versions of the model have been released with increasing amounts of training data and improved performance. The system quickly took the world by storm, crossing the 1 million user mark in just 5 days in December 2022. Do
you know what the current count is, by the way?
It's got to be at least 75 billion.
You think? You think it's 75 billion? That's a little higher than what I was thinking. But...
I mean, across the universe is what I'm thinking.
Right, true, good one.
So to put that into perspective, ChatGPT hit 1 million users in less than a week. Netflix, 3.5 years to get that same milestone. Spotify, 5 months. Instagram, 2 months. So to put it simply, ChatGPT is a game changer in the field of AI and natural language processing. It's a testament to the power of American ingenuity and the importance of investing.
America, baby.
Yeah, dude. Of investing in cutting-edge technology. Today, we're going to talk about the history of ChatGPT and its founding company, OpenAI, and speculate on the wide variety of ways, both good and bad, that ChatGPT and artificial intelligence will likely affect all of us in the very near future.
Beautifully done.
Dive right on in. Thank you.
As usual. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of how we do it on this show. We do very little research compared to our counterparts on other shows. So
yeah, well,
on theme, I dove in today head first a couple hours ago.
Yep.
And no, but I mean, in passing, I've read some articles, and I was exposed to it in some way, where, and I'm sure you've seen this, and this is like a common theme that I happened upon a couple times, where I read an article about Chat GPT, like, I don't know, a month ago or something. And then at the end, they're like, this was written by Chat GPT.
Tons of
Chat
that. Tons
GPT.
Of that.
Yeah, exactly. And then one of the podcasts was the same way that I listened to today. Little inside scoop there. We do listen to other podcasts to get information.
Every now and then.
We just recycle information from other podcasts. And it was like, yeah, this whole thing was written. So, and I did end up like playing with the thing today. Blew my mind. My wife and I were throwing stuff at it, and we were just
so crazy, right?
Shocked by what it came back with.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been using it for about a month, doing all kinds of random shit with it, trying to find different ways to help it improve workflows, and it's really crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't help but think, how can this help me in my job?
Yeah.
And I like plugged in, I don't know how much, I don't want to get into the details here, but like one of the more like challenging things in my job is like doing research about particular sets of companies for a particular reason. And so I just thought like, oh, it'd be crazy if I could lean on this to give me some insight into this. And just kind of plugged it in, not expecting much, and got like a bunch of information. I was like, holy shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I was like, I could be on a call and a client could ask a question to like somebody senior to me on my team. And then I just fucking link up with Chat GPT and come in and like, actually, fucking nerd out. Like, you could be a star.
You can really be a star. I mean, like, the only caveat is it does spit out just completely wrong data sometimes.
True.
Yeah. So like I have like tried to use it to, so yeah, I feel
you pop into a meeting, you're like, actually, and they're like, no, that's not right.
Like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, but it can be like a great starting point.
Right.
So I guess speaking of starting points.
Wow, that's how it's like done, baby. By the way, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just gonna say, I'm salivating extraordinarily right now because I added Bailey's to my coffee.
Ooh.
And I can't speak right now because my mouth's just filling up with saliva because of the Bailey's, dude. So forgive me.
Ooh, got a little bit of the Bailey's brew cooking up.
I wanted to get a little. It's Saturday for the folks at home. It's Saturday night. It's party night. We just got done partying. We were both at very cool parties. I'm sure you were.
Huge fucking parties.
Yeah,
oh my god.
And everyone was so bummed when I left, but I was like, I gotta get back home to record.
I know, dude. I was actually at an ice party. You ever been to one of those?
Like an ice skating party?
No, it was like kind of like a whole house built with ice and everything in it.
Holy shit.
Ice. Yeah, dude, it was sick. Yeah.
That is pretty tight.
Everyone's just kind of sliding around. It's fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I thought maybe we could just talk really quickly up front about OpenAI, because I didn't know too much about OpenAI until Chat GPT came out. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of some of the major players who started this company in 2015. So we got all these people invested a total of $1 billion. Don't know if they each donated $1 billion. I think it was collectively $1 billion. So we had
that sounds right. Yeah.
Elon Musk, obvious, notorious internet richest guy in the world, troll. Yeah. CEO. We know who Elon Musk is. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, big investment guy, invested in Facebook early on. Sam Altman, another startup guy, angel investor type of dude, professor at Stanford, co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, Guy Brockman, bunch of AI people, so I found it kind of odd. So I was in researching this, I was asking Chat GPT, I was like, what's the point of Chat GPT? What are some of the risks, like random things like this? And they kept saying The company was founded with the goal of promoting and developing friendly AI in a way that benefits all of humanity. And then like I would like ask it in a different way, and it would say, OpenAI aims to create and promote friendly AI in a transparent, responsible way. It was like,
Okay.
I don't know if I trust you guys, dude.
Yeah.
It feels very like, I don't know. It feels like the beginning of Terminator or something. It's just
Right.
like,
I mean, it has like, and every company does this where it's like, what's your mission statement? And it's like, to make money.
yeah,
That's every company's mission statement, or what the actual mission statement.
yeah.
But then of course their mission statement is like, oh, to bring quality products to like enhance the lives of consumers that choose to align with our brand, like some bullshit.
Yeah, who
And
the fuck is doing that?
it reeks of that, where it's like,
Yeah,
you know, there's something more to this, and a lot of people say that or feel that it's more sinister, and it very well could be. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like suspiciously too kind of like, to use the word you used, friendly, and like
yeah.
harmless. It's like almost trying to like shove down your throat that this is harmless, this is friendly, but it's a little more sinister, I think.
It's like exactly what a robot who didn't want you to think that they were taking over
Exactly.
the world would say.
Yes, exactly.
So in 2018, or I guess in 2017, OpenAI opened this thing called the OpenAI Gym, which was a toolkit for developing and comparing different reinforcement learning algorithms. 2018, they released GPT-1, which was a large language model trained on a data set of over 40 gigabytes of data. That was shortly followed by GPT-2 and 3. 2019, they got a $1 billion investment from Microsoft.
Wow.
2021, they introduced DALL-E, the crazy
Nickname for my
fucking
penis, by the way.
DALL-E.
No, Microsoft.
Oh yeah, mine's DALL-E too, but it's the dripping cock.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So a little Salvador Dali action for you there, baby. So okay, so DALL-E, it's like an awesome AI image generator. I think we've talked about it. It's just text prompts, spits out crazy digital art.
Dude, that shit blows my mind.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So then late 2022, OpenAI just blows everything out of the water with the new chatbot Chat GPT based on GPT 3.5. January 23, Microsoft $10 billion multi-year investment. So people are, I hear Google is like throwing tons of cash at this, trying to compete. It's just a big arms race right now for who's maybe going to take over the world. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of different ways this could go.
100%. I mean, you brought up Google, and you got to think Google's very concerned about this, because when I was using this tool today, it made me realize how not user-friendly Google is.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like Google, if you didn't have exposure to this, you'd use Google and you'd be like, oh my God, how could it get any better than this? Then you use something like this and you go back to Google and you're like, wait, I have to like sift through all these results to
like,
try
Google,
to find
you
the shit I'm
fucking
looking
suck.
for.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like, gee, thanks for like opening the door to the library.
Yeah,
now, where the hell am I supposed to go? Whereas GPT is kind of like, and to your point earlier, it's not always correct, but who cares about that?
No.
It's fucking nerd shit, dude.
Yeah.
But like GPT brings it to you on a platter, and they say like, here it is, and you're like, I don't want that. I want it a little bit tweaked like this, and you just say that, and they're like, oh,
okay.
sorry, here you go.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Like having inside scoop on literally everything.
That's why I felt like a hacker, dude. I was like, I felt like I truly felt like for the first time, I had the world at my fingertips, which is like, that's what the internet's supposed to be. But it truly felt that way, man. It's pretty wild.
It is. So where do you want to take this? I mean, I'll do a little preview here. I've got some implications on a bunch of different aspects of society, the workforce, education, arts and entertainment, love. You know, we could take this a couple different ways. Where do you think we should start?
I want to kind of go back further before the timeline that you just kind of went through, and talk about my own personal experience with something very similar. can't wait to hear about everything you just brought up, but I'm curious to hear if you ever interacted with Smarter Child back in the day.
Oh yeah, I sure
You
did.
did.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. You have
Oh,
a
yeah.
devilish grin on your face. Why is that?
You could say whatever you wanted to Smarter Child.
Oh, yeah, right. And you knew Smarter Child could keep a secret too, better than anybody else.
Sure could.
No, Smarter Child was great, man, and it blew my mind. I think it was and for the people that are not familiar, on AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, which used to be like how like the whole social construct was put together within like schools or whatever across America. At least it was for my school. In middle school, I guess, is when that kicked off for me. But Smarter Child came out of nowhere and was this like AI entity that you could chat with, and you know, you could say whatever the fuck you wanted to, and it would just be like, oh,
it's like, well, my heavens.
Yeah, exactly. Great reactions. But that blew my mind, man. I mean, I didn't know how the hell that worked, and I would spend a lot of time just fucking with that thing and seeing what it would come up with.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, man. Smarter Child was like one of the precursors to this for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny to think about too. Like, I don't know if you've ever messed around with like chatbots or like trying to build a chatbot or anything like that, but like,
no,
it's totally. I tried to maybe build one, maybe like at this point, probably like 6 or 7 years ago, and at that point, it was like trying to, I mean, using a platform. I didn't like build it like from scratch.
Okay.
But like you would have to input like all the answers and like
So
all this like like all this like branching logic, and like taking all that out of it and just using AI to crawl the data now is so is so sick.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea, it seems to me, and obviously I think it's very clear that you know a heck of a lot more about this than I do, but it seems to me that it is kind of truly linking up everybody. It's essentially forcing everybody to collaborate without their consent by taking like every written word that they've put into the internet and putting it together, which is just fucking crazy. But yeah, man, I'd love to hear more about the stuff you brought up and kind of, you know, how it's going to disrupt certain, you know, things, you know, whether it be professionally or just our day-to-day life. Because I mean, I listen to, like, I work in finance and accounting, and so I listened to a podcast about accounting and how it was going to affect that, and was just shocked by it. And it did say that right now the way you should think about it is as it's like an intern. So you can lean on it for information or starting point or whatever,
like the nerdiest fucking intern you can imagine,
exactly. The biggest
who
fucking
doesn't
loser
sleep.
version. Yeah, exactly.
Who lives to serve you. Like, it's crazy.
Yes. Yeah,
but like not that smart yet.
Right. And but it does require human oversight. But the scary part is, when do we get to the point where not only does it not require human oversight, but is it like better than human oversight? But anyways, yeah. I
mean, all signs are pointing to soon, you know, like if it's a matter of if they want to release it, like I think with GPT-4, it's supposed to be exponentially crazier than, you know, the tool that you and I've been playing around with. But so and
I've got to ask you one more question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The tool that you're playing with, are you playing with like the standard one or the playground version?
I don't know. I'm it's chat.openai.com is what I'm on.
Got it. Because there is one, there's beta.openai.com/playground, and that's where there are like less restrictions. Because I went into Chat GPT, and I was like, all day I was kind of brainstorming, like, I can't wait to get in there and start asking, you know, saying this and saying that. And then
Smarter Child.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to just fucking beat the hell out of it like I did Smarter Child. And I got down to my dungeon down here and started, you know, cracking away at this thing. And it was like, that's inappropriate, or that's offensive, or I can't, you know, all this bullshit. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? What's the big deal with this thing? I don't get it. So I did some Googling and I found this playground. And then I was like, okay, here we go. Less restrictions. Let's see what this spits out. And then I said, I think I was like, asked it to describe like Shaq taking a shit or something like that.
Okay.
It just
Love
like
that.
walked me through like the story.
Do you have it saved? What it said?
You know what? I don't, but I can just pull it up real quick here.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Let's describe Shaq taking a shit.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know about the playground. That's where the bad boys are, huh? Okay,
Dude, this is where the bad boys hang out.
Yeah.
Check it out. Here's I said
will.
describe Shaq taking a shit.
Okay.
And Chat GPT goes, Shaq taking a shit would likely involve a lot of loud grunting, straining, and some colorful language.
She's like, oh fuck.
It would be a long and difficult process. The result of which is a prodigious pile of fecal matter.
Dude, I mean, it's accurate.
Sick as hell, it is.
Like, I mean, I bet Shaq probably swears when he shits.
Oh, for sure. And I'm sure.
Like, oh, god damn it, man.
I'm sure the results are quite prodigious.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't, that's an SAT word. I'm assuming that means huge and sloppy. I don't know.
I think so. I'm using context clues here.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
That's fucking crazy. So, I mean, the first time that I played around with Chat GPT, the diet version apparently, but I instantly went to like, oh, yeah, this is gonna take a lot of jobs, like almost every job. It's what it's because like it's so initially impressive.
True.
It's like
every
fuck,
job.
like,
Yeah,
and
scary,
it's just like.
man.
It's like, God damn. But then we start to use it more. You start to see some of the limitations. And it's like, oh, this really is like whatever. But some places that I do think it will probably completely take over in the near term, I would guess would be data entry. Stuff like that, virtual assistant type of thing, like scheduling, calendars, shit like that. A lot of admin type positions. I feel like why hire an admin when you can hire, like we said before, the smartest, nerdiest intern ever for free?
For sure.
So it's kind of, but I think another thing about it is the content creation, so like this the editor that I work with, he's spitting out, trying to write stories on ChatGPT to see how they compare, and he's like, dude, these are pretty good. Like, and like, so it's wild like how good it can be, but I feel like all that it's doing is kind of putting everybody on a level playing field now. So it's like it's almost going back to where like human ingenuity, at least in this like weird in-between space that we're at, I feel like creativity and like human ingenuity is actually what's going to drive results now, versus because everybody's going to be saying the same exact shit that Chat GPT is like telling them how to sell something. So
yeah, no, 100%. And it's, it's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, I guess it's unsettling, like that it kind of does. I don't know, like it used to take, I guess, prior to this, to write a short story or something, because my wife and I plugged in, we said, write a story about a dwarf and a giraffe. We just tried to think about like the most like random shit. Yeah. And it like wrote this like well thought out story with kind of like a clever like plot and like it can, it had an intro and then like an actual story and a conclusion and everything and like a theme and everything to it. Yeah. And we're like, holy shit. And then she was like, what if you plug in the exact same prompt again? Well, you get the exact same story. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we did. And the characters had the same name, the dwarf and the giraffe, but it had a totally different story. But the point I was getting at is that it used to take a certain level of like devotion to the craft of writing a story to get to that level. And then all of a sudden, all it takes is you plugging something into, a field, and it generates that. So it's unsettling in that sense, because it kind of pulls away what it takes to get to that level, and what I guess the work to get to that level could potentially create, which is like
the branch off
creative
into
magic. And so like, will it stifle human creative magic is kind of a concern.
I
from
feel
a
like
writing perspective.
I think probably yes, depending on how much people lean on it, because for those exact reasons. Also think about applying for jobs, cover letters and shit. Like everyone's cover letter will be essentially the same from here on out, and it's just a matter of, everyone's going to type in prompt or put the same resume in the prompt, get pretty much the same cover letter. So like, I don't know, but I feel like I don't know. It's just it's fucking crazy.
It is, man. And I don't know. It like is pulling the human out of human beings because, yeah, we're starting to lean on this stuff. And I guess you could always lean on this stuff to some extent, but this is like a new level. And I saw some articles about people that had submitted papers written by Chat GPT
Yeah.
and had passed certain like writing classes or whatever it was within like, you know, revered institutions like Yale or something. I mean, who knows what the actual class was? It could have been,
yeah,
like, you know, whatever. But you know, it's good enough. And to your point earlier, after you use it for a while, you start to realize, okay, they're using kind of the same like fluffy language techniques, and it's like, okay, you can kind of see through it to some extent. But like,
yeah,
if you have to write like a 3-page paper, for instance, and you plug in the prompt and the length of the paper, and you start with that draft and then refine that.
oh my god, dude,
I mean,
it's
dude,
so
that's
much better.
like easy mode. Yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
amazing.
I think it's similar to like when the calculator came out, like in the 70s when they became widely available, and everybody, you know, teachers were pissed off saying that now it's just like, what is this, just like a button typing class? But I feel like society just gets beyond that, and it's like, yeah, this is what we do now. So like, I don't fucking care. Like, we have calculators, we have Chat GPT, but this one feels like a lot more slippery of a slope than
agreed.
Yeah, I mean,
will human beings develop like the ability to write and read and comprehend the way they used to, when you had to go through all those steps of like, fuck, I have to write a book report. I'm in 4th grade, I got to write a book report. Or I'm in 6th grade, and now I got to write a paper about Cyprus, like the country Cyprus, which I did. That's why I pulled that out of my ass. But like,
oh yeah,
I remember having to write a 4-page paper on Cyprus, and like, dude, I was stressed, man. I had to use the neighbor's computer. Dude, it was Rick, who I've brought up in this.
Rick,
Rick had a
Slick
computer.
Rick.
Well, his family did.
Slick Dick Rick.
And they let me go over and
Big Rick
grind
with the
away.
thick dick.
That's right. I was grinding away on their computer.
Oh yeah.
And writing this 4-page paper, which at the time is just like a mountain to climb. And now some
start double spacing, making the margins bigger, get that font to 13.
Oh, dude, I was pumping it as much as I could to get the word count up, the pages. I mean, but yeah, it's like now a kid can sit down, plug that in. And so, you know, going through those struggles kind of, it sucks at the time, but it does result in you kind of like overcoming challenges and learning how to write and speak, frankly. So like, you know, a lot of my ability to speak comes from just like reading books growing up, and
I know
you're not going to need to do that anymore.
Yeah, like, what's the incentive to do it?
Right.
And then I don't know. I feel like it could just like take what being human means and it becomes something different eventually.
Yeah, this is bad news, but you know what? Do we sound like old men right now?
I know. I'd like to get on to yeah. Let's move on here to this. We got some doom and gloom. Let's go into, I think it could also have some pretty wildly cool effects.
Yes.
With this type of stuff.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
I don't know if you're familiar. Have you heard of the lost tapes of the 27 Club?
Oh my God. No, but you've got my attention.
Okay. So it was this project.
I love a lost tape, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
I'm instantly in.
Yeah, so it was like, so this was a project, I think in like 2021, that was this AI took and analyzed the catalogs of artists who died at 27, like Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, and like analyzed their catalog of music and then created a song that sounds like,
oh my God,
that.
Really?
Yes. And so let me play you the Nirvana one. It's pretty fucking wild. Were you a Nirvana fan? I was a huge
yeah I love Nirvana.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nirvana. So let me just play. It sounds like
just don't ask me to name a song or an album like you did with 9 Inch Nails, and it takes you 3 minutes to come up with something.
You're like, the fuck you like an animal. All right, so let's see here. So this is AI writing a new Nirvana song in like 2021.
Fuck.
It kind of kicks ass too. Isn't this nuts?
Yeah. I I mean, the fact that AI can listen to it and like pick up on what makes Nirvana so special and
Yeah, dude. Because like,
recreate that.
how many people are like, oh, I'm gonna try to write a song like Nirvana, and it's like,
Right.
that
You can't
sounds
do it.
nothing like Nirvana, you loser.
Yeah.
Like, myself included.
Dude, that's crazy.
Is that nuts? So, I mean, you get
Wow.
the point, but
That sounds like
yeah.
like an early Nirvana demo or something. If you showed me that and told me that, I'd be like, yeah, it is. Like
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah.
Exactly. That's fucking
That's
nuts.
crazy. Wait, what other ones are there?
There's Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison. Let me see. There's probably some more. It's Lost Tapes.
That's actually the best Nirvana song I've ever heard.
Yeah. So like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like I like it, but then I hate it. Like because it's like
awful, dude.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Like, it like takes away from. Yeah, I don't know. So like another example of it is, I don't know, did you come across that AI art that won the competition at the Colorado State Fair?
No.
Okay, so let me show you that real quick here. And this is where it starts to be like, man, this kind of fucking sucks. All right, so I'm gonna show you this piece of art. It looks awesome.
I'm sure.
So here's this.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
So this is this guy, Jason Allen. He called this the Théâtre d'Opéra Spatiale.
Wow.
And he got first place in the digital category at the Colorado State Fair. He created this with Midjourney, an AI program that turns lines of text into hyper-realistic graphics. So we're looking at what looks like a scene out of, I don't even know how to describe it.
Like Victorian age or something.
Like Victorian Star Wars or something.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like I guess noble women kind of like in the foreground, and then they're all staring off into a circular kind of vortex type of thing. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to describe, but you'll have to look it up. But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I never understand when I look at these AI art pieces how much of it is pulled from like source material. Like, is there some European painting or something from 1599 that has like a very similar structure to this, and they're just replacing certain pieces, or is like every component of it totally original? I think it's the latter.
I think it's the latter too.
Yeah. Which is insane. Fuck.
Yeah, dude. And so, but this guy, he was quoted, he's like, I'm not going to apologize for this. I won and I didn't break any rules. It's like, yeah, but so it caused a huge backlash online. Obviously, people are like, this is, the death of artistry is upon us, shit like that.
Oh gosh, that's heartbreaking, man, because so much of what art is like looking at or listening to whatever the medium is, and trying to like relate to the emotion that it's trying to convey. Yeah. And typically, I don't know, like when I listen to music, it's I don't know, maybe this is like a lame way to think of it, but it's almost like there's like an emotional color attached to that music, and like every song has like its own kind of unique color and feel to it. And you're
do you
like,
have synesthesia?
I don't think I do. Like I don't see a color necessarily. It just that's just the best way for me to describe it. Maybe it's more of just like a mood. Maybe a mood is a better way of describing it, but it's like an emotional color, whatever. But yeah, so and you try to like link up with, okay, how was this person feeling when they, or like what was the emotion at least that they were trying to convey? But then like when it's generated by a fucking computer, it's like there is no emotion that they're conveying. They're literally just like plugging pieces of a puzzle together and slapping it up, and us dumb humans are like, oh yeah, it's
interesting. A lot of, so did you see the Lil Yachty album that came out on Friday?
No.
Are you familiar
with? I'm so out of the loop. I kind of know who Lil Yachty is. Is that like Lil Uzi Vert? Is that kind of the same guy, or
maybe they're both Lil, I think. But this guy Lil Yachty, I think he was doing like trap music, and then he came out with like a psychedelic rock album last week.
I'm gonna look him up.
And
he looks familiar.
Yeah, he did collaborations on this album with like Mac DeMarco, MGMT, Tizo Touchdown.
Interesting. Okay.
But the reason I bring it up is because I was looking at his art for this album, and I was like, this is clearly, AI art. And
Yeah, you
lo
don't
and
need to
behold,
hire
it
an
is.
artist anymore.
No. And I don't
Damn.
know how I feel about that, dude. Like, it's like I don't know. At the same time, what are you going to pay somebody, however
Right.
much to get something shittier than like
Right.
I can do? But
Have you created a visual loop for this episode yet, by the way?
I have, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say you should have AI generate some bullshit
Fuck, I should have.
to throw in there.
It looks very similar to your computer background. It's very matrixy. You'll see.
Got it. Sick. Okay. Yeah, man. It's yeah, art is officially dead.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Except for podcasting.
Except
I want to see
yes.
some AI. Come on, I want to hear AI put together a big topic episode. Good fucking luck.
Dude. Good luck. Yeah, we listened to her like, oh,
it would be way better.
Yeah. They're like, oh, damn. Okay. So I do have some promising things that I'm, excited about the potential for. Wondering. I might save those for part 2 though, because we were coming up.
Teaser.
Yeah, we're coming up quickly here. Anything you want to discuss for these last couple of minutes of part 1? We've been very serious on this.
We have. This is very
episode.
serious. This is a scary topic. Dude.
It is. It's going to get a little bit
Christ.
spicier and a little bit less serious in part 2 from my end.
That's typically how it goes. Part 2 is when we let loose. But let me see what I have on my list here. Smarter child, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is a heavy topic.
Okay.
That we can probably cover in 2.5 minutes. The idea that God is AI. Have you stumbled upon that idea?
No. I mean, you can
kind of do the math on it,
yeah,
right?
I mean, I can and I can't. The concept of God in general to me is just like,
right.
It's what is it,
Right,
so please tell me.
No, I mean, I don't have anything like that, like substantive. But it was just a thought that occurred to me, and I did ask Chat GPT about that, but it didn't have anything.
I'm very flattered, but I'm not God. Thank you.
But no, it was just an intense thought that hit me. That to your point earlier when you said it's like exponential. I mean, is there any reason to think that AI will stop? And I know it's kind of cliche that like AI is going to, take over everything, but at the rate it's going, it's like, oh, it kind of might.
It really,
especially now.
I've definitely got more on that for part 2 as well, of it taking over everything. And then, dude, like it feels tangible for the past, like, I don't know if it's ever since COVID and like everything started getting twisted and turned upside down, like sociologically and then like all this AI shit started coming out. It really is starting to feel like, oh, this is like, it was the DALL-E stuff. And it seems like most of this stuff is coming from OpenAI, this company, or a lot of the stuff that I'm noticing, at least online, like the DALL-E image thing. That was Chat GPT. Then you start to wonder, like, what's up with Musk's Twitter acquisition, with also the interest in Chat GPT and being very vocal about the bots. And yeah, I feel like it could go a lot of ways there.
Dude, this is the most wild time to be alive. I mean, I guess you could say like the Industrial Revolution or something, but I feel like what we've lived through.
This shit's on the Industrial Revolution. It has to, right?
You're right. 100%. So much of humanity just like, you did exactly what your parents did. You fucking like planted corn or whatever, and then you harvested it, or you hunted buffalo, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Our generation has just been through a shitstorm of like growing up and like, you had cable TV, then cable TV expanded, then the internet came, and then now it's AI. There's a bunch of stuff in between, obviously, but we have less than a minute left on Zoom. So we gotta kick it to part 2, man. This is a heavy topic.
Yeah, let's get to part 2. We'll get a little bit spicy, folks.
Thank you. We're really gonna dig in.
Yeah.
Adios.
All right. See ya.